Hello everyone. Welcome to this video tutorial on Introduction to SQL by Simplilearn. In this session, we are going to learn about databases, how data is stored in relational databases, and we'll also look at some of the popular databases. Finally, we'll understand various SQL commands on MySQL Server. Now let's get started with what is a database. So according to Oracle, a database is an organized collection of structured information or data that is typically stored electronically in a computer system. A database is usually controlled by a database management system or DBMS. So it is a storage system that has a collection of data. Relational databases store data in the form of tables that can be easily retrieved, managed, and updated. You can organize data into tables, rows, columns, and index it to make it easier to find relevant information. Now talking about some of the popular databases, we have MySQL database, we also have Oracle database, then we have MongoDB, which is a NoSQL database. Next, we have Microsoft SQL Server. Next, we have Apache Cassandra, which is a free and open source NoSQL database. And finally, we have PostgreSQL. Now, let's learn what is SQL. So SQL is a domain-specific language to communicate with databases. SQL was initially developed by IBM. Most databases use structured query language or SQL for writing and querying data. SQL commands help you to store, process, analyze, and manipulate databases. With this, let's look at what a table is. So this is how a table in a database looks like. So here you can see the name of the table is players. On the top, you can see the column names. So we have the player ID, the player name, the country to which the player belongs to, and we also have the goals scored by each of the players. So these are also known as fields in a database. Here, each row represents a record or a tuple. So you have the player ID, which is 103 here. The name of the player is Daniel. He is from England, and the number of goals he has scored is 7. So you can use SQL commands to query, update, insert records, and do a lot of other tasks. There are mainly 4 types of SQL commands. So first we have data definition language or DDL. So DDL commands change the structure of the table, like creating a table, deleting a table, or altering a table. All the commands of DDL are auto-committed, which means it permanently saves all the changes in the database. We have create, alter, drop, and truncate as DDL commands. Next, we have data manipulation language or DML. So DML commands are used to modify a database. It is responsible for all forms of changes in the database. DML commands are not auto-committed, which means it can't permanently save all the changes in the database. We have select, update, delete, and insert as DML commands. Now select command is also referred to as DQL or data query language. Third, we have data control language or DCL. So DCL commands allow you to control access to data within the database. These DCL commands are normally used to create objects related to user access and also control the distribution of privileges among users. So we have grant and revoke, which are the examples of data control language. Finally, we have something called as transaction control language or TCL. So TCL commands allow the user to manage database transactions. Commit and rollback are example of TCL. Now let's see the basic SQL command structure. So first, we have the select statement. So here you specify the various column names that you want to fetch from the table. We write the table name using the from statement. Next, we have the where clause to filter out our table based on some conditions. So you can see here where condition 1, condition 2, and so on. Then we have the group by clause that takes various column names. So you can write group by column 1, column 2, and so on. Next, we have the having clause to filter out tables based on groups. Finally, we have the order by clause to filter out the result in ascending or descending order. Now talking about the various data types in SQL. So we have exact numeric, which has integer, small int, bit, and decimal. Then we have approximate numeric, which are float and real. Then we have some date and time data types such as date, time, timestamp, and others. Then we have string data type, which includes char, this varchar, and text. Finally, we have binary data types, and binary data types have binary, var binary, and image. Now let's see some of the various operators that are present in SQL. So first we have our basic arithmetic operators. So you have addition, the subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. Then we have some logical operators like all, and, any, or, between, exists, and so on. Finally, we have some comparison operators such as equal to, not equal to, this greater than, less than, greater than equal to, or less than equal to, not less than, or not greater than. Now let me take you to my MySQL workbench where we will learn to write some of the important SQL commands, use different statements, functions, data types, and operators that we just learned. Now let me now go ahead and open my MySQL workbench. So in the search bar, I'll search for MySQL workbench. You can see I'm using the 8.0 version. I'll click on it, and here it says welcome to MySQL workbench. And below under connections, you can see I have already created a connection which says local instance. Then you have the root, the local host, and the port number. Let me click on it. You can see the service, the username is root, and I'll enter my password and hit OK. Now this will open the SQL editor. So this is how the MySQL workbench looks like. Here we learn some of the basic SQL commands. So first, let me show you the databases that are already present. So the command is show databases. You can hit tab to autocomplete. I'll use a semicolon. I'll select this, and here on the top you can see the execute button. So if I run this, below you can see the output. It says show databases, 7 rows are returned, which means currently there are 7 databases. You can see the names. Alright, now let's say I want to see the tables that are present inside this database called world. So I'll use the command use world, which is the database name. Now let me run it. So currently I'm using the world database. So to display the tables that are present in the world database, I can use the show command and write show tables. Give a semicolon, and I'll hit Control Enter this time to run it. Alright, so you can see the tables that are present inside this world database. So we have 3 tables in total: city, country, and country language. Now if you have to see the rows that are present in one of the tables, you can use the select command. So I'll write select star, which basically means I want to display all the columns. So star here means to display all the columns. Then I'll write my from the table name, that is city. So this command is going to display me all the rows that are present inside the city table. So if I hit Control Enter, alright, you can see the message here. It says 1000 rows were returned, which means there were total 1000 records present inside the city table. So here you can see there's an ID column, a name column, this country code, district, and population. Alright. Similarly, you can check the structure of the table by using the describe command. So I'll write describe, and then I'll give the table name, that is city. Now let's just run it. There you go. The field shows the column names. So we have ID, name, country code, district, population. Type here shows the data type of each of the columns. So district is character 20, ID is an integer, population is also integer. Null says yes or no, which means if no, then there are no null values. If it's yes, which means there are null values in your table. Key here represents whether you have any primary key or foreign key, and these are some extra information. Now let's learn how to create a table in MySQL. So I'll use the create table command for this, and before that let me create a database, and I'll name it as SQL intro. So the command is create database, and I'll give my database name, that is SQL_intro. Let me give a semicolon and hit Control Enter. So you can see I have created a new database. Now if I run this command, that is show databases, you can see this newly created database, that is SQL intro. If I scroll down, there you go, you can see the name here, SQL intro. Okay, now within this database we'll create a table called employee details. Now this will have the details of some employees. So let me first show you how to create a table that will be present inside the SQL Intro database. So I'll use the command create table, and then I'll give my table name that is going to be employee underscore details. Next, the syntax is to give the column names. So my first column would be the name column, which is basically the employee name, followed by the data type for this column. Since name is a text column, so I'll use varchar and I'll give a value of 25. So it can hold only 25 characters. Okay. Next, I also want the age of the employee. Now age is always an integer, so I'll give int. Okay. Then we can have the gender of the employee. So gender can be represented as F or M, F for female and M for male. So I'm using the char data type or character data type, and I'll give the value as 1. Then let's have the date of join or DOJ, and this is going to be of data type date. Alright. Next, we'll have the city name, that is the city to which the employee belongs to. So again, this is going to be varchar 15. Finally, we'll have a salary column, and salary we'll keep it as float, since salary can be in decimal numbers as well. Now I'll give a semicolon. Alright, so let me just quickly run through it. So first I wrote my create command, then the table, which is also a keyword, followed by the table name, which is employee details here, and then we gave the column names such as name, age, this gender, date of join, city and salary. For each of the columns we also give the data type. Alright, so let me just run it. Okay, so here you can see we have successfully created our first table. Now you can use the describe command to see the structure of the table. I'll write describe emp underscore details. If I run this, there you go. So under field you can see the column names, then you have the data types. Null represents if the table can accept null values or not, and these are basically empty, and we haven't set any default constraint. Alright, moving ahead, now let's learn to add data to our table using the insert command. So on a notepad I have already written my insert statement, so let me just copy it and then I'll explain it one by one. Alright, so if you see this, so we have used an insert into statement or a command followed by the table name, that is emp details. Then this is the syntax. Using values I have passed in all the records. So first we have Jimmy, which is the name of the employee, then we have 35, which basically represents the age, then M means the gender or the sex, then we have the date of join, next we have the city to which the employee belongs to, and finally we have the salary of the employee. So this particular information represents one record or a tuple. Similarly, the next employee we have is Shane. You can see the age and other information. Then we have Mary, this Dwayne, Sarah and Amy. Alright, so let me go ahead and run this. So this will help you insert the values in the table that you have created. You can see we have successfully inserted 6 records. Now to display the records, let me use the select statement. So I'm using select star from emp underscore details. If I run this, you can see my table here and the values it has. So we have the name column, the age column, the state of join, city, salary, and these are the values that you can see here. Moving ahead, now let's say you want to see the unique city names present in the table. So in this case you can use the distinct keyword along with the column name in the select statement. So let me show you how you can print the distinct city names that are present in our table. Now if you notice this table clearly, we have Chicago, Seattle, Boston, Austin, there's New York, and there's Seattle repeated again. So I only want to print the unique values. So for that, I can write my select statement as select distinct. Then I'll give my column name, which is city, from my table name, that is EMP details. If I run this, you can see my query has returned 5 rows, and these are the values. So we have Chicago, Seattle, which was repeated twice, is just been shown once. Then we have Boston, Austin, and New York.
If getting your learning started is half the battle, what if you could do that for free? Visit SkillUp by Simplilearn. Click on the link in the description to know more.
Now let's see how you can use inbuilt aggregate functions in SQL. So suppose you want to count the number of employees in the table. In that case, you can use the count function in the select statement. So let me show you how to do that. So I'll write select. I'll use my function name, that is count. Now since I want to know the total number of employees, I'm going to use their name inside the brackets from employee underscore details. Now if I run this, this will return the total number of employees that are present in the table. So we have 6 employees in total. Now if you see here in the result, it says count name. Now this column is actually not readable at all. So what SQL provides is something called as an alias name. So you can give an alias to the resultant output. So here I can write select count of name and use an alias as I can give an alias as count underscore name and run this statement again. There you go. You can see here in the resultant output we have the column name as count name, which was our alias name. Now suppose you want to get the total sum of salaries, you can use another aggregate function called sum. So I'll write my select statement, and this time instead of count I'm going to write sum. And since I want to find the sum of salaries, so inside the bracket I'll give my salary column from my table name, that is employee details. If I run this, this will result in the total sum of salaries. So basically it adds up all the salaries that were present in the salary column. Now let's say you want to find the average salary. So instead of sum, you can write the average function, which is AVG. So this will give you the average salary from the column salary. So you can see it here. This says average salary. Now if you want, you can give an alias name to this as well. Now you can select specific columns from the table by using the column names in the select statement. So initially we were selecting all the columns. For example, like you saw here, the star represents that we want to see all the columns from the employee details table. Now suppose you want to see only specific columns, you can mention those column names in the select statement. So let's say I want to select just the name, age and the city column from my table, that is employee details. So this will result in displaying only the name, age and city column from the table. If I run it, there you go. It has given only 3 columns to me. Now SQL has a where clause to filter rows based on a particular condition. So if you want to filter your table based on specific conditions, you can use where clause. Now where clause comes after you give your table name. So suppose you want to find the employees with age greater than 30. In this case you can use a where clause. So let me show you how to do it. I'll write select star from my table name, that is employee details, and after this I'll use my where clause. So I'll write where age greater than 30. If I run this, it will give me the output where the age is only greater than 30. So it excluded everything that is less than 30. So we have 4 employees whose age is greater than 30 here. Now suppose you want to find only female employees from the table, you can also use a where clause here. So I'll write select, let's say I want only the name, the gender, which is sex here, comma city from my table that is employee details, where I'll give my column name that is sex is equal to, since I want only the female employees, I'll give F and run this statement. Okay, you can see here our employee table has 3 female employees. Now suppose you want to find the details of the employees who belong to Chicago or Austin. In this case, you can use the OR operator. Now the OR operator in SQL displays a record if any of the condition separated by OR is true. So let me show you what I mean. So since I want the employees who are from Chicago and Austin, I can use an OR operator. So I'll write select star from emp details, which is my table name. Then I'll give my where clause where city equal to, I'll give my city name as Chicago, and then I'm going to use the OR operator, or city equal to, I'll write Austin. I'll give a semicolon and let me run it. There you go. So in the output you can see all the employees who belong to the city Chicago and Austin. Now there is another way to write the same SQL query. So you can use an in operator to specify multiple conditions. So let me just copy this, and instead of using the OR operator, this time I'm going to use the in operator. So I'll delete this. After the where clause, I'm going to write where city and use the in operator. Inside bracket, I'll give my city names as Chicago and I want Austin. So I'll give a comma and write my next city name, that is Austin. So this query is exactly the same that we wrote on top. Let me run this. You will get the same output. There you go. So we have Jimmy and Dwayne who are from Chicago and Austin respectively. Now SQL provides the between operator that selects values within a given range. The values can be numbers, text or dates. Now suppose you want to find the employees whose date of join was between 1st of Jan 2000 and 31st of December 2010. So let me show you how to do it. I'll write select star from emp details where my date of join, that is DOJ, between, I'll give my two date values, that is 1st of Jan 2000 and I'll give my second value, the date value, that is 31st of December 2010. So every employee who has joined between these two dates will be displayed in the output. If I run it, we have two employees who had joined between 2000 and 2010. So we have Jimmy and Mary here who had joined in 2005 and 2009 respectively. Alright. Now in where clause, you can use the AND operator to specify multiple conditions. Now the AND operator displays a record if all the conditions separated by AND are true. So let me show you an example. I'll write select star from employee details table where I want the age to be greater than 30 and I want sex to be male. Alright, so here you can see I have specified two conditions. So if both the conditions are true, only then it will result in an output. If I run it, you can see there are two employees who are male and their age is greater than 30. Now let's talk about the group by statement in SQL. So the group by statement groups rows that have the same values into summary rows. Like for example, you want to find the average salary of customers in each department. Now the group by statement is often used with aggregate functions such as count, sum and average to group the result set into one or more columns. Let's say we want to find the total salary of employees based on their gender. So in this case you can use the group by clause. So I'll write select let's say sex, comma, I want to find the total sum of salary, as I'll give an alias name, let's say total salary, from my table name, that is employee details. Next, I'm going to group it by sex. Okay, let me run it. There you go. So we have two genders, male and female, and here you can see the total salary. So what this SQL statement did was, first it grouped all the employees based on the gender, and then it found the total salary. Now SQL provides the order by keyword to sort the result set in ascending or descending order. Now the order by keyword sorts the records in ascending order by default. To sort the records in descending order, you can use the DESC keyword. So let's say I want to sort my employee details table in terms of salary. So I'll write select star from EMP underscore details, and I'll use my order by clause on the salary column. So this will sort all the records in ascending order of the salary, which is by default. You can see the salary column is sorted in ascending order. Now suppose you want to sort the salary column and display it in descending order, you can use this keyword, that is DESC. Let me run it. You can see the output. Now this time the salary is sorted in descending order, and you have the other values as well. Now let me show you some basic operations that you can do using the select statement. So suppose I write select and do an addition operation, let's say 10 plus 20, and I'll give an alias name as addition. If I run this, it will give me the sum of 10 and 20, that is 30. Similarly, you can use the subtraction operator, and you can change the alias name as, let's say, subtract. Let's run it. You get minus 10. Now there are some basic inbuilt functions. There are a lot of inbuilt functions in SQL, but here I'll show you a few. Suppose you want to find the length of a text or a string, you can use the length function. So I'll write select and then use the length function. I'll hit tab to autocomplete. Let's say I want to find the length of country India, and I'll give an alias as total length. If I run it, you see here it returns 5 because there are 5 letters in India. There's another function called repeat. So let me show you how repeat works. So I'll write select repeat. Let's say I want to repeat the symbol that is at the rate. I'll put it in single quotes because it is a text character, and I want to repeat this character for 10 times. Close the bracket and let's run it. You can see here in the output it has printed at the rate 10 times. You can count it. Alright. Now let's say you want to convert a text or a string to uppercase or lowercase. You can do that as well. So I'll write select and use the function called upper. Let's say I want to convert my string, that is India, to uppercase. I'm not giving in any alias name. If I run this, see, my input was capital I and everything else was in small letter. In the output you can see it is converted my input to all caps. Similarly, you can change this. Let's say you want to print something in lowercase, you can use the lower function. Let's say this time everything is in uppercase. If I run it, it converts India to lowercase. Now let's explore a few date and time functions. Let's say you want to find the current date. There's a function called CUR, which stands for current, and this is the function I'm talking about, which is current date. If I run this, you will get the current date, that is 28th of Jan 2021. And let's say you want to extract the day from a date value, so you can use the day function. Let's say I'll use day and I want to find the day from my current date. if I run this, you get 28, which is today's day. Now similarly, you can also display the current date and time. So for that, you can use a function that is called now. So this will return the current date and time. You can see this is the date value, and then we have the current time. Alright. And this brings us to the end of our demo session. So let me just scroll through whatever we have learned. So first, I showed you how you can see that databases present in MySQL. Then we used one of the databases and checked the tables in it. Then we created another database called SQL Intro for our demo purpose. We used that database, and then we created this table called employee details with column names like name, integer, the sex, date of join, city, and salary. I showed you the structure of the database. Let me run this again so you get an idea. You can see this was the structure of our table. Then we went ahead and inserted a few records. So we inserted records for 6 employees. So you have the employee name, the age, the gender, the date of join, the city to which the employee belongs to, and the salary of the employee. Then we saw how you can use the select statement and display all the columns present in the table. We learned how you can display the unique city names. We learned how to use different aggregate functions like count, average, and sum. Then we learned how you could display specific columns from the table. We learned how to use where clause. Then we used an or operator. We learned about in operator, the between operator. Then we used an and operator to select multiple conditions. Finally, we learned about group by, order by, and some basic SQL operations. So that brings us to the end of this session on Introduction to SQL. I hope it was useful. Now if you want to get the demo file that we used in this session, then please put your email IDs in the comment section of our video. Our team will send you the demo file over email. Thank you for watching and keep learning.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.